After a hot 3-1 start with the Utah Jazz, it is safe to say that their season is not going as planned. After the Utah Jazz got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs last year by the Dallas Mavericks, the newly acquired GM Danny Ainge decided to blow it up and to start a rebuild. In early June, the head coach of 8 years, Quinn Snyder, decided to resign, and this was the first signal that the team was moving in a different direction. With the head coach position open for the Utah Jazz, they decided to hire Will Hardy, who is ultimately the youngest coach in basketball at just the age of 34. Following the head coaching change, on July 3rd, Danny Ainge traded his star Rudy Gobert to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Walker Kessler, who is a 2022 first-round pick, along with 5 unprotected first-round picks, and an interesting young player in Jared Vanderbilt, along with 2 vets in Patrick Beverley and Malik Beasley. After this trade, we knew that Danny Ainge was in asset collective mode, and he's looking to cash out on all of his players to get as many future assets as possible. All summer, we awaited the inevitable Donovan Mitchell trade. Finally, on September 3rd, the Jazz traded their franchise star to the Cleveland Cavaliers for 4 first-round picks, along with Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, and the recently selected first-round pick, Ochai Agbaji. Throughout the summer, the Jazz also traded Royce O'Neal to the Brooklyn Nets for a first-round pick and traded Bojan Bogdanovic to the Detroit Pistons for Kelly Olynyk to save on the luxury tax. With all the trades Danny Ainge made this offseason, it was very clear that the Utah Jazz are starting the rebuild this year in hopes of winning the lottery to get the 1-1, 7'4" French prospect Victor Wembanyama. Going into this season, the Utah Jazz team was constructed of unproven role players with only a few remaining from the previous season, and they were projected to finish at the bottom of the Western Conference. At the time of this recording, the Utah Jazz are 3-1 with impressive wins over Denver, Minnesota, and New Orleans, and they're currently sitting at the 4th spot in the Western Conference. So how is this happening? How is this Utah Jazz team, who was supposed to finish with the worst record in the league, now at the top of the standings in the Western Conference? All the players on this team were accumulated by Danny Ainge with one primary goal, and that is to be a terrible basketball team. And I think many players on this roster took that personally, so they're playing really hard on defense and they're moving the ball extremely well on offense. So let's take a dive deep into this roster and see how these players are performing. We have to start with Lauri Markkanen in a standout year thus far. Markkanen is continuing his great player from the EuroLeague he played over the summer, and he has become the focal point of this offense and making the best of his opportunity. Markkanen has been averaging 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. Now, his efficiency could be better, only shooting 45% from the field and 25% from 3, but we all know that 3-point percentage is going to go up. We've seen him be a spot-up player throughout his career. While he is continuing to be a spot-up threat in Utah, he has been taking his opponents off the dribble as well. Next, we have to look at Jordan Clarkson taking a starting role and having a bounce-back season this year. Clarkson has been averaging 18.5 points and 5 assists, shooting 45% from the field and 40% from 3. It's great to see Clarkson's momentum coming back from a 6th Man of the Year campaign. There's an important moment in games where the team needs offense, so they give Jordan Clarkson the ball and lets him provide that offense for them. Next, we can't go without talking about Kelly Olynyk. He is averaging 16 points and shooting an outrageous 78% from 3 on 4 attempts per game. Another great standout player that will likely be on the Utah Jazz roster for years to come is Jared Vanderbilt. He is averaging 10 and 10 while shooting 61% from the field. Now, Vanderbilt is only 23 years old and has been Utah's best versatile player. He has the ability to play the wing position and play some small ball 5 to add some defense. Other vets such as Mike Conley, Malik Beasley, and Rudy Gay are also having really great seasons. So now that you see what players on the Utah Jazz have been making this happen, so we're going to go ahead and take a look on why this is good and why this is also bad for the Utah Jazz future. We're going to take a look and see how this is a good thing for the Jazz's future. The outstanding play of the Utah Jazz is going against Danny Ainge's tanking goal, so we'll likely see trades sooner rather than later so they can drop in the standings. We could see Ainge continue to collect more future assets by trading players like Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley, Colin Sexton, or even Lauri Markkanen if the price is right for future first-round draft picks. So doing this will put the Jazz in even better position moving forward as we collect more and more draft assets. However, now let's get into the bad part about the rebuild. With every win the Utah Jazz accumulates, that puts them one step further from winning the lottery and obtaining the French prospect. Victor is a one-on-one prospect who put the NBA on notice this summer during his expedition play in America. Some NBA executives are willing to say that he could increase the value of a franchise by $500 million. So to wrap up this point, this French prospect is the reason why you tank. Victor is a one-on-one prospect. People like him come in the draft once every 20 years, and you don't want to miss out on your opportunity to get him. So many teams are already flattening out their roster so they could tank and get to the bottom to increase their chances at winning the lottery and ultimately getting him. If the Utah Jazz miss out on this guy, it's not the end of the world, But if they did obtain him, this rebuild will look a whole lot better for them. And that is my video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.